Yo, what's good, people? We back. Had to come through on this one right here because I'm seeing this go around, right? When Gilbert Arenas was talking about how when he came to the Wizards, he was asked to erase the legacy of Michael Jordan on the Wizards. And that's a true thing. You know what I'm saying? I heard that years ago. But the thing is about it, right? Michael Jordan's years on the Wizards really was erased. People, you know what I'm saying, first of all, it's not a part of the championship legacy. And, that's one of the reasons why they would do it from one side. But on the other side, it's like, it was really like, going against the grain. It was like nobody wanted them to win at all. It was just all about Jordan coming back. They just wanted to see that, but never wanted the Wizards to win. Me being a fool, because I was young when the Bulls was winning, right? I was young when the Bulls were winning. I do remember that last game in Utah, though. I do remember watching that. But, you know what I'm saying? Like the 93 Jordan and everything like that, I was a kid. But so I didn't get to see Jordan. But so I was like, okay, once you hit him, like you hit him for real. So I knew that Jordan Wizards was going to be him, you know what I'm saying? Because the 16s had dropped. He was in the league. He was off the Bulls, and the 16s were fire. You know what I'm saying? And then the 17s dropped. You know what I'm saying? It came in a suitcase. So the 17s was like, okay, so Jordan's still Jordan. You know what I'm saying? I was at the that opening night game against the Knicks. I was there. You know what I'm saying? I think Jordan had 20 that game. Did he have 19? I think he had 20. But they lost to the Knicks when the Knicks were the Knicks. And the thing about it is, the reason why that team failed is the roster, the way the roster was put together. The roster was horrible. That team was super trash. That team was super trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't even a team that you pick in because NBA Live was still back then. So you didn't even pick the Wizards in NBA Live. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody played with them in the video game. Like, they weren't a fun team to play with. Jordan was the best player on the team at 40 years old. And his, you know what I'm saying, the 40-year-old version of everything is Michael Jordan. You know what I'm saying? So he was the best player on the team by far. Now, when he first got there, Rip Hamilton was there. Rip, you know what I'm saying? And then Rip in his prime, you see Rip, even Rip in his prime wasn't even a number one. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't a number one. That just wasn't in this game, but he was great at what he did. So that's when he got traded for Stackhouse. I have no idea who thought Jordan and Stackhouse would work good together. I know they both went to North Carolina. Maybe Jordan only wanted North Carolina dudes. I did hear that. But that was a horrible combination. that was not no combination to put together like, oh, you're going to be my Pippen. Nah. Might as well have brought Pippen back. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why they didn't do that, because Pippen had just retired. Could put Pippen on the Wizards. But the young dudes that the Wizards had, I thought that second year of the Wizards, he was there, I thought that was the year that they were, okay, they're going to make it. Because they just missed the playoffs by like a game or 2 games, the first year. So I'm like, okay, they're going to do it the second year. Because remember, they drafted Juan Dixon. He would play for Maryland. Maryland had just won the NCAA championship. And Juan Dixon was like the star of the team. Steve Blake was on that team also, and but Steve Blake wasn't the man. It was Juan Dixon's team. So the Wizards got Juan Dixon. I'm like, okay, good. They got Juan Dixon. They also drafted the NCAA Player of the Year in Jared Jeffries. Jared Jeffries was the NCAA Player of the Year. I know. Listen, we've seen his career already in the NBA, but in college, that was him. He's coming from Indiana. So Jordan was drafting players out of schools that he knew and respected. Maryland, ACC, Indiana, you know what I'm saying? Bob Knight lineage. So he's drafting them out of that, and So when he got Jared Jeffries, I really thought that, okay, with Juan Dixon and Jared Jeffries, I thought, okay, this is the next core right here. Juan Dixon, Jared Jeffries, and then I think to go along with developing Kwame Brown, because Kwame Brown, I don't think people remember the first like 20 games. Kwame Brown was averaging like 20, and he was a 20-10 rookie, like the first 20 games of the year. No, his first 20 games, because he was injured at first. But once he started playing, it was like 20-10, putting up numbers. Go look back at the numbers. Then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. It just like he couldn't get past 7 points after a certain point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking it was going to be Kwame Brown, Jared Jeffries, Juan Dixon. They putting together a young core to go along with the old dudes. They're going to be, you know what I'm saying, at least viable. At least they can go against, like, you know, the Magic, because, you know, T-Mac had a horrible team. So I'm thinking that'd be a good matchup. You know what I'm saying? But they all flopped. They all, like, flopped horribly. Like, Juan Dixon didn't even make it to another team. I don't know, man. He might probably did, but I don't even know if he did. But it's like he couldn't even make it to another team. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if playing with Jordan, the pressure was like that. You know what I'm saying? But young players and Jordan do not mix. Because Jared Jeffries, like, you just come off of winning the most outstanding player, and then you get to the league and you can't. Like, he was horrible. He was injured. He barely played. And then Kwame Brown, the second year, he barely played. You know, Jahidi White, I don't know if he was like made it, like stayed on the team in on the second year. Jahidi came from Georgetown, but that's how I know him. And let me see. They had a couple of young players, but the young players didn't play. When they played, they just played with a bunch of trash. Chris Whitney, I think he was a point guard in the first year. I think he was there in the second year too. Chris Whitney, like, are you serious? When you got Chris Whitney, like, he was a 58 in live, not even 2K, like live. You know what I'm saying? When you were 58 in 2K, you probably could pull something off, but in live, when you like that, you was trash for real. And you know what I'm saying? You had Chris Whitney and Christian Laettner, and the team was horrible. Popeye Jones, and the team was horrible, yo. The team was horrible. Jordan really was it. It was only Jordan, you know what I'm saying? And he almost brought him to the playoffs. He was really balling. He really was like balling those two. I think did he play 82 games both years? Like he didn't do no short selling on the fans or none of that. He was there. But the reason the Wizards failed is because of that roster compilation and that coaching. Doug Collins, horrible coach. And, you know, he really wasn't the coach for real. It was basically, he just let Jordan be the coach. You know what I'm saying? So that didn't work. That did not work. It wasn't like they didn't put together a team to win. They didn't put together a competitive team. They put together a team that Jordan was okay with having players around him so that he could still be Jordan. That's the reason why the Wizards failed. They weren't meant to compete. So it ended up being a disaster behind the scenes. That's what Gilbert Arenas is talking about. Behind the scenes was a complete disaster. I don't know what was going on. Nobody knows besides them. But it ended up being nasty because the Wizards don't even like the mention of Jordan. You know what I'm saying? And that's crazy. You know, so because I'm hearing people say dumb stuff like, oh, so Gilbert Arenas, you saying you better than Jordan? You know, just dumb talk, like not really understanding what was going on at the time. So when we talk about Wizards Jordan individually, he was like, you know, probably he was 80% of who he was. And that still was better than most. But the team was super trash. That team was super trash. And he almost got him to the playoffs. So I'm going to go and get out of here on this one, man. I'm out.